All right, all right, all right. Can you guys hear me now? I had a feeling it might not be working there. Let me know if you guys can hear me, and then we will jump on. Okay, bud? Let's see here. Yeah, you can hear me? All right, great, great. Wait, it should be now, right? It says sound's not working. It should be. Somebody let me know if it's working or not. It's working now. Okay, okay, great, great, great. Yeah, I made sure to check it there right as I started talking as we came on here. For whatever reason, it always has that issue, it seems like. But anyway, hey, man, Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital coming at you guys live here just a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesday, the 9th of May, 2023, here in an overcast day here on Lake Conroe, just north of Houston, Texas. Hopefully, you guys are doing all right. Hopefully, you like the new background a little bit more. Again, still working. I've got this. Those of you that don't know, I've got this very large office. I believe it's actually the size of most New York City apartments. Anyway, and I've been working around it, trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of to do this for you guys, to give you a big enough view behind me and everything else. And so there we go. Anyway, hey, listen. Man, oh man, a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? So we've got Bitcoin still pulling back and threatening to break down to 25, right? Which I think people seem to misunderstand that even if it does, it's still nothing more than a simple pullback along that big rally there from November, right? Again, yeah, Genghis Khan bringing up the point here that says, what'd you say here? Oh, the 420,000 unconfirmed transactions there on Bitcoin. I know some people are blaming on ordinals, but I think I saw something about maybe like a spam attack on it or whatever. So, it is what it is, guys. And this is something that I think it's really important that you guys figure out, because everybody's like, oh, Bitcoin, the future and this and that. But, there are situations, there are things like this that are happening, and, and then Binance, of course, shut off the, what is it called? The ability to withdraw supposedly because of that, but now they're adding Lightning Network in there as well, which will relieve that if you use the Lightning Network. So I mean, there's things happening, but overall, I think it's just important that if you're a big proponent of Bitcoin or something other than the legacy system, that you understand that you're still going to have issues. There's nothing out there that's going to keep you from having issues, guys. There's always going to be something. All right, so I guess that's the big thing I'm trying to kind of put across there. What else did we have? We had the jobs report, which came out last week. We have CPI coming out tomorrow. Man, a bit coming on. We've got we got the debt ceiling thing going on. That was supposed to have been, the deadline was back in January, and Congress is being Congress. Everything's political, right? And so Republicans and Democrats are refusing to kind of agree on it. Democrats want to spend out their rear ends. Republicans want to spend too, but just not the same way, the same bit. And so, there's this big stalemate. And so the Treasury does something called extraordinary measures, but that only has, a limited ability, right, to be able to do that. And, again, apparently Janet Yellen says, it could be as early as the first week, basically, of June, that they're not able to do that anymore. But I mean, when you listen to her, it seems like more likely than not, it would be later into June. A few weeks after that, toward the end of June, would be the more likely kind of timing there, right? Sheepy Racing says no new money in the market. Are you talking about Bitcoin, or are you talking about everything else? I mean, again, you don't have to have new money coming in, guys, for Bitcoin to go up, right? You don't have to have new money coming in. You just have to have money flow through to Bitcoin. So, we got to be sure that we understand that. I don't know, lately the no new money coming in is similar to what I used to hear a few years back all the time, which was, well, there's no volume. How is Bitcoin going to rally? And I think it really just has a lot of misunderstanding with how markets work and whatnot, right? Obviously, new money coming in would be a boon, would be helpful, right? But it isn't absolutely required. Again, you have the same no real new money coming in, right? And yet Pepe was just going nuts, right? So, I mean, again, we got to kind of look at that, right? Hank says, who needs new money when you're allowed to wash trade? And that'll probably be coming to an end, especially, in Western countries where it's illegal in most markets anyway. The government doesn't like it. I saw an article recently about how crypto people weren't paying taxes because they're using the loophole that allows them to what do you call to absorb those losses, right? Because usually you have the wash trade rule, which says you have to wait 30 days after you sell in order to get back into whatever you sold out of, right? And of course now you can sell it. Tax loss harvesting, that's what I'm looking at. You can sell it and then get right back in, right? And so with that kind of thing happening, the IRS isn't happy about that. The government isn't happy about that. So you can look at that probably being removed before too much longer. It is what it is. It's part of markets, guys, right? Gareth says, China liquidity June 1st. Surely this is substantial. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you're just thinking about the U.S., the U.S. isn't the biggest part of the Bitcoin market. I mean, yes, it's a substantial part, but not in and of itself the only thing out there, right? And so, again, Bitcoin's more of a global thing. So, even if you're taking off these U.S. on and off ramps, you still have access everywhere else. Most of the places in the world. So, let me see here. Who's here already? Let me see you guys. Aeroquin, what's going on? Nevlusian. Frank, what's going on, sir? Aeroquin's here. Man, all my favorite people. Look at that. Hank's even here. Genghis Khan, of course. Goldocker, what's up, man? I don't think I've seen you in a while. How are you doing? Brian Riley is here. He says, do some chicken picking. Oh, you talking about the guitars? Yeah. Data's here. Who else? Michael Johnson says nothing's perfect. That's right. But you got to, again, you want to be realistic about it, right? Because I see a lot of new traders coming into cryptocurrencies, and they're, still. I mean, even when I first came in, it was the same thing that was happening to everybody. But even today, it's this idea that Bitcoin's going to magically solve all these issues that everybody believes that we have, and that we do have. But yet, they're like, but they ignore all the the downsides to it, right? They don't want to believe that, Bitcoin could have a lot of the same issues that anything else does. So just trying to make sure that if you're new and coming in, that you actually, not just listening to all the really positive go Bitcoin maxi kind of stuff, and just assuming that that's all the way it is and there's nothing else out there in terms of information, so. Let's see here. Sheepy Racing, like I said, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Jonas, what's up, man? Diego is here as well. Gareth is here. Andrew Bennett, Baltazar, what's going on, guys? Gold Doctor, you doing fine? Great to hear, man. Great to hear. Guys, I hope I don't screw up your name here, man. I'm going to try. Farin? Hopefully I got that right. What do you think about Fiboswani's targets of 40Ks in June? Man, I like them. Because, again, my whole idea... again, Fiboswani looks at the charts differently than I do. But if you guys have been watching for, end of last year, beginning of this year, you'll notice that our targets generally tend to align. And I've been talking about this idea that we would have this potential rally up into May, maybe sometime in June, and then we'd pull back through the summer, and then we'd start again end of Q3 into Q4 as we hit the kind of the high for the year. And then we pull back into halving, and then, of course, rally up to a new all-time high after halving. And that's just generally, kind of what Bitcoin does. If you guys think back to 2017, that's what it was, right? We rallied up into June, pulled back July and August, and into September. And then, mid-September or so, we kind of flipped it around from those 3,000s area. And we rallied up. I mean, up to almost 20,000 by the end of December. Well, by December 17th or 18th. Now, I don't think we're going to new all-time high this year, but I think for me, I mean, it's possible maybe we could get like a real thrust because we've been going sideways, guys, for a while. We'll look at the chart here in a minute. We've been going sideways on Bitcoin for weeks and weeks and weeks now. So if it's gonna rally up, it could rally up strongly, right? And there's a lot of, as I've talked about, to the side, you can look at the gaps on the side, not gaps like you think of gaps, but old time traders like myself, what we call gaps, these large candles. I think a lot of times something similar is it's called fair value gaps. Price action traders use that terminology, and we've got some big ones that would lead into 40,000. So I definitely don't think that that's not a possibility. I definitely think that's quite possible. What could happen? We just have to, we have to deal with the range, guys. It is what it is right now. Everybody wants this. Oh, tell us what's going to happen, and then they shoot you if you're wrong, right? But the reality of it is, we are sideways, guys, and we've been sideways for a while now. And until we actually break, it's kind of we could be right, we could be wrong, kind of thing. We got to see which way the market takes you. Does it dip down to 25 first and then rock it up, or does it just pop out and leave everybody waiting for 25, make it even more painful because they're more scared to get in now? And that's what we'll kind of look at there. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate them. I think it's possible. We'll see what happens, right? I'm Deuce. What's going on? Bamboo, what's your thought about the blow off top? Could be this time before happening. Again, I think if we do that, then that's the end. I really think if we get a new all-time high prior to the halving, I think that probably says that that's it. And then we're just, I think everything, stocks, everything's going to be coming down at that point then, if that's the case. But I think if we're going to see that, I think more likely than not, we need a strong dollar. And I'm not so sure we get that. Not just yet anyway. So, again, these, we're talking about further off things, and those are always more difficult because there's a lot of stuff that can happen in between that time, right? So, yeah. Hank says, we just went up 100% in what universe is the last quarter sideways? Is that what you said? I didn't say the last quarter was sideways. I said weeks and weeks and weeks we've been going sideways. Anyway. Josh Johnson, what's up? You didn't know I was a musician? Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I've got a drum set. I've got keyboards. I've got guitars. And my son actually picks everything up a lot easier than I ever did growing up. So he's crazy, man. He can just pick up an instrument and in a couple of days he's doing stuff on it. I'm just like, really? What the heck? And he acts like, whatever. All right, guys. Hey, listen. So let's talk about this real quick. I have a new site coming up. The new home of Texas West Capital is going to be texaswest.capital. So I put that link there on my Twitter. You guys, we may be in 6 hours and 41 minutes releasing it. It may be a little bit sooner. So you guys be paying attention to that. When we do, I'm going to have some crazy tier 3 deals going on there. They're going to be limited, though. It's not going to be everybody can jump on it. It'll be first come, first serve. But you'll be able to get multi-month discounts and stuff for tier 3. We're also I'm going to start changing the way that we do things with our tiers. And so one thing you'll get is once you get into tier 3 here, you've always gotten access to like our trader foundations and then our foundations for Elliott Wave and Wyckoff as tier 3. Well, now you're going to be able to keep those forever and ever and ever. Yours, you don't have to lose them if you don't stick around with us or whatever. Once we get this going, we're going to do a relaunch of tier 2. And so we're going to change these tier names, but tier 2 is going to include lifetime access to the Trader Foundations course. You'll have to do tier 3 to also get the Foundations, Elliott Wave, and Wyckoff courses. And then, we've got other stuff going on. So we got a lot of this going on, but it's going to be there at Texas West Capital or texaswest.capital. And so it's going to be great times there. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that. We've got, I'll be putting out a sale soon here for the next course we have. Remember, every month for the next, now it's 11 more months now. We're going to be releasing a new course. We did pivots last month. We've got a new one coming up this month that'll come out on the 15th. It'll be 15th of each month. we'll give you a chance. In this case, we'll get a couple of days chance to get it really inexpensively before before the price is way up there. We'll even give you a chance to get in on the bundles deal again, which you get all 12 plus 2 additional courses, one by Fiboswani with Fibonacci levels, and then trading those, and then a master course on Hearst cycles that I'll be putting out, in addition to the 12 monthly courses as well. So lots of stuff going on, guys. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. I told you guys, end of last year into this year, we were going to do a whole bunch of new things with Texas West Capital and everything we're doing. By the way, before we jump into charts here, don't forget, Scott Melker and myself will be hosting a new show on Wednesday mornings where we'll be talking to traders, and we'll be talking about trading specifically. And that's going to be pretty freaking awesome. So follow me on social media, guys. TX West Capital on Twitter, Texas West Capital just about everywhere else, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Or jump on our server if again, if you're there on Twitter, you can jump on it pretty quickly. If not, I'll find a way to get that that Discord address everywhere else. But we'll post it in the free area of that Discord as well. By the way, we're also going to start ramping up information for the free side of the Discord as part of this whole revamping that we're doing. So we haven't really done a whole lot on the free side, but now we're going to start getting more and more into that. So tons of stuff coming, guys. Lots of way for you to get some stuff going. In addition, I've got the Bearded Trader podcast. I've got Because Success Matters podcast we'll be launching. I've got that show with Scott. And then we've got I'm going to be doing some webinars and stuff with Fiboswani here. Hopefully before too much longer here, which you guys might want to jump in on that as well. So again, guys, just tons of ways for you to get involved, for you to learn more. Sometimes free, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a little more price, but it gives everybody the ability to, my God, guys, just to get rid of all the nonsense you hear online. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I'm no nonsense, no fluff. I don't give you half truths or outright lies when it comes to how to trade and how to look at certain things. Because you get enough of that crap everywhere else online. I'm not here just just for my company and what we do. Again, that isn't my sole source of income right there, right? Unlike a lot of people that you may be following online. So it allows me to be more honest with you because I want you to come here. I'm going to be honest, man. Listen, guys, I don't do this out of the goodness of my heart. I'm a great guy, but I got time constraints. All right. I do a lot of stuff. But for me, I do what I do, like with these shows and everything, because it makes me feel good when you say, man, Chris, I get it now. And oh my God, that thing you've been talking about for months and months and months, it finally clicked. And I'm starting to see my trading get better because of it. And these are, a lot of times for people that just watch the free streams here. And so it makes me feel good, guys. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, that shouldn't bother you. It should be okay. Well, great. He's doing it because it makes him feel good, but he's doing it, right? So I hope you kind of take that in view of life as well. Stop worrying about people having to be altruistic, all that nonsense. I'm a firm believer that people do things because they gain something out of it. For me, what I do here makes me feel good because most of y'all don't listen. I'll be honest with you. Most of y'all don't listen, at least not at first. I was the same way when I started. But for those that do, and these things start clicking and you see your trading start changing and you become more successful at it, I mean, that's what it's about. So let me see here. Hank put up a link there. Let me see, put that over there. There's the link right there, guys, a Blockworks link. And he said, PayPal discloses nearly 1 billion of crypto assets on the balance sheet. It always makes me wonder when they say crypto assets, what are they talking about? Are they holding Doge? Are they holding Pepe? Or whatever all the other stupid ones are now? If they said, hey, we're holding Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, I'd be like, awesome. If they're like, hey, 90% of what we're holding is, I don't know, ARB or something. I don't know. Something small, small cap. Like, no. Not so interested in that. Fiboswani, what's up, man? Andrew says if Bitcoin hits 25K, it looks like it would be a sharp wick up, just his opinion. I think there's probably a better take than most, I think, on that. Sure. Can we take a look at the pitchfork you had on the daily when you get a chance? Looks like the recent dump brought us below the EQ and bouncing off the 25% level, below the median on it. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Sure. Let me see here. Fiboswani's here for the fluff. Hank's only here for the rants. Neither one of you guys are here for anything I'm actually trying to do here, right? All right, guys. So anyway, yeah. So there's the website, guys. TexasWest.capital. Okay. We do have one at TexasWestCapital.com, but that's going to house our courses and stuff. For our memberships and everything else we're going to offer, we're going to do it at TexasWest.capital. So a new platform, new back end on that, and that'll get us back. My God, guys, we've been without automated gatekeeping on our Discord for like ever. Our bot broke down, and then there's just all these issues. Have never got it done. So this is actually get us back to automated access on Discord. So that's really exciting there as well. Okay. Quinn, you're here for the beard? Yeah, I know. It's getting a lot of gray in there these days. Man, listen, guys, one more time before we go here. I want you to know something before we go to the charts. When you're 20 and you're thinking, oh my God, 40 and 50 is old, I hope you don't feel that way. I feel as young today as I did in my 20s, and I was feeling great in my 20s. I just tend to have a lot better temperament and a lot more wisdom. So I don't do the stupid stuff that I did back then that thankfully I lived through, and I'm here today to talk to you guys, right? Josh Johnson, what's up, man? All right, guys. So let's jump on here. Let me grab the charts here for you. By the way, that guitar right over there, that's my Gresh. I like that one a lot. And then you can see all the way over there, you might see it, that red and black one over there. That's Van Halen. It's the Eddie Van Halen's guitar. Not his actual guitar, unfortunately, not yet at least. But it is the same one, the same type. Anyway, I'm trying to think here. All right, I got to get to the charts. I know you guys are probably done hearing me talk. You don't care about all my guitar stuff, right? Am I right? All right, let's kind of get over here. Let me see where. Well, I'm trying to find that chart. Okay. All right, let's look here then. Where did we go? I lost y'all. Sorry, give me 1 minute. I got to find you now. Looks like you fell behind all my other screens here. Are you kidding me? There we are. All right. There we go, guys. Let me see. Pop it up there. Okay. Finally. Jeez, oh whiz, man. It's a tough life, man. Trying to do this stuff is tough. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. It is thundering out there, man. It was lightning. I still am not gotten used to all this rain and especially the lightning that we get over here. It's crazy. It's crazy. What kind of music do I play? Diego, man, I play everything from, man, I grew up in the 80s. So a lot of that metal from the 80s, Rat, Quiet Riot, stuff like that, into the hair metal of the late 80s, mid to late 80s, early 90s. Motley Crue, stuff like that. Play country. Yeah, I mean, pretty much whatever I kind of, get around to doing. I love music. I especially love the guitar. I love the drums. So, big thing there. You think we deserve a little music sample? Maybe one point, maybe one time, but that's not what this show's about. Michael Johnson, you're a drummer as well, man. I like that. All right. Nah, keep talking, Josh Johnson says. All right, guys, let me see here. Let's see here. So we got the pitchfork. Which pitchfork were we looking at? Let me pull this over here. Was it pulled off the low here? I don't know that I can find that exact chart. I've got so many of these stupid charts, and I never label them correctly in a way that's easy to find them at a later date. Yeah, I think you're talking about this one, huh? What comes around goes around, round and round. All right, so yeah, I mean, if we're looking at almost there, let me kind of pull this up here a bit. I mean, really, guys, this is what it is. Everybody's freaking out over this, just this sideways here. And, we've been going sideways again, basically since that big one there. About 53 days. So almost 2 months of sideways, guys, okay? And as you can see, the daily Stochk RSI, you can see, is reset into oversold. RSI itself is kind of holding up at that 40 level. If we go sideways there, you can kind of see where it normally holds up around that level, right? As a matter of fact, right in this area, when we had this sideways and pulled back, we just pulled back to that 40, and then we popped up, right? And then we pulled sideways here again above the 40, popped up again, then we dropped down through. So we'll see if it holds. But yeah, potentially getting down toward this next time over here. Let me see here. It was off the absolute low. Yeah, that's the absolute. Oh, no. Okay. Thank you for noticing that. Yeah, that wasn't the absolute low. My bad. Let me get it right there. Okay. Yeah, we're right there at it. Again, you can see how well you had the rejection here around the beginning of March at the median of the pitchfork. And then you had it support here right around mid-March. And then supporting again here from, April 21st all the way up until basically 6th or 7th. So, this weekend. And here we come breaking down, and we've kind of hit the next kind of level there. But I think more importantly, we're right here above the daily S1 pivot. And so here's what I think is important about this. Again, guys, pivots are huge, right? So rejected the pivot. We came down. This is clear support here, right, at the S1 pivot on the daily. And again, RSI pulling back to that 40 level where it's found support previously before rallying further. And we're resetting into oversold. So I'm looking. I want to see here. Do we get a rally up out of here, right? Do we get a rally up out of here? Amdu says shorts are coming in. Funding rate is getting ready to flip. Like to see that above support. Yeah, I mean this again, guys. Almost basically 2 months of support at this same level, and so. You just kind of got this going on right here, really, right? I mean, mostly that's kind of where we're at there. You had a little deviation below here, a little deviation above there, but it's been, the deviations above have been stronger and higher than what they have been below, just wicks kind of below that area. So, we'll see what goes on there, but, again, this is kind of where we're sitting. There's so many ways you can count this right here because we do have this this sideways. So there's multiple ways to look at this. So if it's going to be a triangle here, my first thought is okay, we'd be an A, a B, a C, a D, and then an E. And so then this gives us 1 A, B, C. But we're coming pretty close. We got the swing low right here on this. This is the Bitstamp chart, Bitcoin USD. We've got the swing low there at 27,242, and we've got the current one at 27,290. So basically about $50 above that. And then the next swing low is right here at 26,981, just another, $60 below that. And then the next one's right here at 26,541. So what I like is there's this support coming up here, but we've pulled back so far against it. I told Discord, I want to see an impulsive breakout higher here before I'm getting, thinking that maybe there's the pullback's complete, because we're so close to this next swing low that if we break down through that, we're probably breaking into this next one, which is less than $100 lower, which gets us pretty close to this one over here. Now, of course, this one back here on March 27th, you can see is right there at that previous swing high from March 14th, right? So, I mean, you can kind of see that right there. And then off that, we kind of got this thing kind of going on here. But there are, again, there are these local kind of points here that you need to be watching. Don't just assume. I don't care if you're bullish, bearish, whatever. Don't assume anything's going to happen here. Let the freaking market tell you, guys. I get too many people out there online. They try to say, "Oh, it's going to do this, going to do that," and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why are you, why would you sit here and try? I mean, you're just gambling. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Most of crypto Twitter, or most of the people that are playing, they wear this name degenerate like it's a badge of honor. And it's not really. It just means you don't really understand how to trade and you're just YOLOing and you're hoping you win. It's the same mindset of the type of people that buy lottery tickets, that buy scratch-off tickets, that play at the casinos. It's the same mindset, guys. And it's not a put down. I'm just saying it's the same mindset. It's the I want to get rich quick mindset, which is why very few people do. And when they do, they tend to lose it all back and usually more. And so if you don't recognize that that's what's going on, then all you're doing is creating more and more losses for yourself that you don't have to lose. Why would you do that, right? I'm here for the reality check, guys. I'm here to say, listen, why would you do that? That's silly. Don't put yourself in that situation. There's nothing sexy or cool about being a degenerate and just kind of YOLOing everything you have into some stupid micro cap and hoping it goes up. There's not. I mean, it's funny because I say this and people are like, oh, you're just jealous. What do I have to be jealous about? I've been doing this for 30 years. I do extremely well. I don't feel the need to do that kind of thing. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make money on them, guys. There's a difference, right? When I say these things, people think, oh, you're just jealous and you're just trying to keep people from doing it. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to say, be honest with yourself about the market that you're in and what you're actually doing. If you're dumping a few bucks into a meme coin because you hope it goes higher, that's not trading. That's gambling. And again, do what you need to do, but just make sure you're honest with yourself about it. Don't come talking to me saying, oh, I'm a trader and I did that. No, that's not trading. That's not trading, guys. And I think, again, it's not to tell you not to do it. I'm just saying that if you're going to do it, the thing about making money, whether it's in trading or anything else, like you have to be honest with yourself about what you're actually doing. I've seen everybody out there seems to lie to themselves about what they're doing. And that usually just leads to losses. Does that make sense? But Chris, the micro caps are cheap. Yeah. There's a reason for that, right? So yeah. Do pivots work as well with assets that have very low? Pivots work great. All pivots, guys, all pivots are a way of understanding previous area or a way of understanding support and resistance based on previous price action. It's the same thing you do when you're price action trading. It gives you a visual reference and it's mathematical the way it's done, right? There's different types of pivots and they're all done, mathematically. Again, if you've gone through our pivots course or when we release it again here soon, if you decide to jump on it, you'll learn that there's multiple different kinds of pivots. And they're created a certain way for a certain specific type of trading activity. But yeah, they're just mathematical computations to give you support and resistance. So yeah, nothing real magical about them. But, so few people use them. And I think, here I am, guys. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I still keep them on my charts regularly. If there were two things that I could have on my chart and nothing else ever, it would be volume and pivots. If there was just one thing, it'd be volume. But, again, my basis is volume and price action trading. But, again, pivots are just it's an easy way to jump in there and say, okay, well, what's going on here? Especially when you've done it as long as I have and you learn that price action moves a certain way around pivots. When it does A, then B usually happens. Or if it does A and B doesn't happen, then C is going to happen. Kind of idea, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed, but that's kind of the way we're looking at it. But nonetheless, this is all we're doing here, guys, okay? So, if you want to be smart on this, you're waiting for an impulsive breakout above the daily pivot. And I wouldn't even just say the daily pivot. I'd say the swing high right here by it, which is right around 27,250 or so. You can look at this right here. Oh, by the way, we were talking about triangles, right? So, again, the idea would be that would be the triangle there. You could always do A, B, C, and then D, and then A, B, C, D, E. You can do wave E as a triangle. You can do wave D as a triangle. So it could extend sideways a bit before it pops up. That's what you'd want to see, right? You can see that we had a substantial bump of volume here yesterday into the swing low. And we haven't rallied off it just yet. So we need to see what happens today. Are we going to get some reaction off this? Are we going to kind of go sideways? If we can get a reaction off this today and into tomorrow, I think then it says we're going to break out and head up. If we're going sideways, that could lead to further downside. It just becomes really suspect at that point, right? Let me see here. Now, the other way you could be looking at this, right, is, again, as far as a triangle goes, you could look at it this way. Maybe like A, so A down, right? And then B starts as a triangle. So it'd be A down and then A, B, C, D, E as B, right? And then, because A would be 3 down, B would have to be 3 down. You go A, B, C. And it could enter here. It could enter right below the swing low over here. But again, with all this sideways, there's just a lot of ways. Again, it doesn't have to be. Remember, my count says, okay, right now, potentially, we're doing like this. Big count says, like a 1, 2. And then we've got basically a 1, 2 right now. With wave B printing this this flat here. Potentially. You can go A, you can go B, and you go C down here as a running flat. And then from there, again, this would have to be like a, this would be a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2. And that's a lot of lows. So, but here's the thing. If that count's correct, then we should expect a strong, like big candle rally up and out of here. If this idea that we got 1, 2, and then 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, getting ready to break out with 3, you're looking at 3 of 3 of 3 of 3. You should expect a strong move up. Now, why is that important? Because remember earlier I talked about how we have these gaps over here. Let's pull out the weekly. See how you have all these large amount of movement here? If we're breaking out here, we should have an easy movement up to 38, 40,000. Right here around the R1 pivot. So, and by the way, there's other counts that could be in here as well. It's just, it's just with all the sideways, it's kind of a pain in the rear end to figure it out, right? But if we did get a pullback to say 25, at least, or maybe even down here, at 21.8 or 21 or 20,900, even something like that. I think we'd have to look like a 1, 2, 3 local 4 triangle and then 5 up here. And you get like an A, B, and a C coming down. So that would be a 1 and a 2. But again, here's the other thing I'm looking at. We're still sitting above the weekly pivot. Again, we broke out above it, large candle spread, large volume. We've retested it, broke out higher, came back retesting higher lows. And so, again, while this pivot holds, my default is to look to the upside. Now, people that aren't used to trading pivots, this won't make any sense. They'll say, oh, look, it can't get past 30,000. It definitely has to drop back to 25. Dropping back to 25 is possible, but more times than not, when you have this kind of breakout and retest on the pivot holds this support. Not 100% of the time, but more times than not. So because more times than not it holds, by default, you should be thinking higher. But it doesn't mean you just enter and you go, oh, YOLO. You still need to look for, again, say like impulsive breakout above the daily pivot, something, around this area here. Something that gets you up there, right? Because you can look right here and you can go, man, look at this right here. Let's kind of pull this. Shoot, I can pull it from way back over here, right? Look at this. See this support back here on July 19th of last year? And then support again on May 23rd and 30th. These are the weeks of last year. And then resistance exactly there again, the week of March 20th of this year. And then the candle spread, rejections right there on the weeks of the 24th of April and the 1st of May. So this is what you need to overcome. The only time we broke out above it, other than these wicks, was this candle here for the week of April 10th. And then the next week, bearish engulfing immediately right back down. But even at that, you can notice there hasn't been any follow through yet. We're still that low after that bearish engulfing candle here, right? We went just slightly lower and then right back up, and we're just sideways in the bottom half of that candle. So, again, this may just end up being a pause here before we go up. And with everybody saying it has to go to 25 or lower now, I think everybody and their grandmother saying it, again, I would be careful about that because, everybody could end up getting left in the dust now. Now, we can also look, we had the same kind of idea happening just a bit lower here at right around 25,400, right? So this was this mid-August swing high at right around 25,212. And that was the one I was telling you guys from the bottom here. That was the important thing we had to get over. And as you can see, we rallied up into it the weeks of February 13th and February 20th of this year, pulled back, and then boom, popped out higher above it. So again, everybody says it has to retest that. It doesn't have to. Bitcoin often, especially on a strong bullish trend, doesn't come back and revisit a lot of the previous resistances as support. It just kind of continues up. So I'm not of the mind that it has to do it. It could do it, but until we see an impulsive breakdown below that weekly pivot, my general thought is we go up higher and we look for a good entry. Again, potentially something like an impulsive breakout above the daily pivot if we're looking at this longer time frame. Because again, if we get that should lead us up to at least 38, 40,000 at least. But I think if we get there, I think there's a good chance that we continue to power on up toward upper 40s into 50,000. Which is, the upper 40s or whatever there is that Wyckoff PNF target, which I'll get around to showing you guys one time. I keep forgetting to do it. But so, and I'm probably talking about a lot of stuff that most of y'all have no clue about right here. And so you go, oh, yeah, whatever, right? But, it is what it is. Things are what they are. None of this means it has to do what I'm kind of leaning toward it doing at the moment, but I'm leaning toward it trying to give you the understanding of why. It's not just simply, he's a bulltard. He just thinks he got to go up. No, there's legitimate reasons here, right? Legitimate reasons why it may go up higher and why I would look at higher until it doesn't hold anymore. And then if it goes down, then we can look down toward 25 potentially. Does that make sense, guys? That's how you trade. It isn't, we're up here, so we have to go to 25 because in my gut, it has to retest. I think it has to do it. No, why would you do that? You're going to be wrong most of the time when you trade, especially at first. Why would you depend on your gut, right? So yeah. Let me kind of catch up with you guys here. Yeah, pivot point standard is what I've got on here. Hank likes the 12-hour, but you like the 12-hour stochastic, right? Yeah, so I've got stochastic RSI on here because I use that with RSI. Hank likes to use the 12-hour stochastic. He's looking for a dip into oversold here, and then across bullishly is what he's looking for. I think that's his general initial kind of thing. So we hit it, and we bounced away from it, actually looking for a bullish cross there. Yeah. So yeah, but again, right now we're sitting right on the hourly S1 pivot, So we'll see what goes on. If we jump over here to the Bitcoin dominance here, I think we've still got further to go up here for wave 3. Not even wave 1 yet, still wave 3, I think. Because to me, this looks like A, B, C, and then A, B, C. And then we'd have to have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives us this expanded flat for wave 4. And then here we are again. And so we get a 1, 2, 3. This could be a flat here. So ABC down, ABC up, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We could get a running flat right here. Right again. And we're right there at the S1 pivot on the hourly, which is right there around the daily pivot. And it's holding as support here, right? So if this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, we would have a push up at least up here around the R3 pivot, which is right around 49.36. And then that could be 5 of 3, 5 of 5 of 3, or it could be 1 of 5 of 5 of 3. We could just continue pushing this up. Right now, I've got an expected wave 1 target up here at 52.62. So, again, this is kind of what we're looking at here. But again, still kind of doing this sideways thing like we're doing on Bitcoin, right? So yeah. You set to 14.3 and 3. Isn't that the standard on that? Let's see here. Where is it? Guys, dug it. Here we go. Oh, it's 14.1 and 3. You want to set second one to 3? The smoothing to 3? Okay. So if we do that, there we go. Again, we're down here. We've reset into oversold. It's locked in there, and we're starting to curl up. So again, Hank is looking for that breakout. The cross, the bullish cross, and then the breakout there. But at the end of the day, I mean, it could be a triangle, could be wave 3, wave 4 is a triangle, and wave 5 finishing up and working on wave 2. It could be again A, and then a triangle for B, and then C still to go. And it could drop a little bit below A, but maybe not even make it to 25. There's just so many things that could go on right there, guys. Overall, so if we look at kind of like this area where it starts over here, volume's kind of coming down. As we're getting to this area, it's leveling out. Other than this Darth Maul candle or what everybody calls it right here, the bit of volume. But other than that, volume is dropping down as we're coming through this, as we're consolidating. And, that's what you should expect. When you consolidate, you should expect that volume drops off. Because again, you're getting, the volatility is dropping off. You're getting the smaller moves from swing highs to swing lows, which gives you the consolidation. So, volume should drop off when you're doing that. But also, your RSI should converge as well. It should consolidate as well. And I mean, here we got it. We got, you got a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and then a higher low right now. So maybe kind of getting in there. We're trying to find some support here over the last 36 hours, right? Going on 7 hours still left in this candle right here at the S1 pivot. But again, my thought is, if my count is correct here, we've got something like this going on and we're finding support in this area, I think we'll get a nice impulsive breakout, especially once we kind of get through this 29.5 area. I think we'll really see like a strong movement up after that. So, yeah. 5 by 56 millimeter. What's up, man? It says bears are running out of gas. Well, and see, that's the interesting thing, right? Because we've been going sideways. The bears are like, oh, look, we can't get past 30. We can't get past 30. But, again, if you're looking for it to rally, the simple counter argument is, well, but you're not pushing it any lower. You have all this opportunity for 2 months now, and what you're getting is higher lows, which isn't necessarily, which isn't really bearish, right? By the way, guys, just so you understand, if this is a true triangle here, I know a lot of you guys, when you first come into trading, you look at all the price action kind of patterns, and everybody's like, oh, a triangle, 50-50 chance it breaks up or it breaks down. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, if it's a legit triangle, you're going to have 5 waves of 3 waves, okay? And they'll be, converging or diverging if it's an expanding triangle, right? But you're going to have 5 waves from support to resistance, and a triangle is actually a continuation pattern. If it is a proper triangle, it will continue in the direction of the trend. This isn't my opinion. This is the way it works. It is a continuation pattern. It is a reaccumulation phase for continuing. If you have anything that looks like a triangle and it changes directions, just understand it's not really a triangle. In terms of Elliott wave, it's likely a 1-2, 1-2. So you get wave 1 down, wave 2 on the pullback, and then subwave 1 and subwave 2 of that larger wave 3. So you go 1, 2. I mean, it'd be like this, like you come up to a top here, right? And then you get a 1, 2, 1, 2, and again, you make it 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, 5 here, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, and it looks like a triangle, right? It looks like it's converging. But again, you're looking for 3-wave movements here: a rally, a rally, a pullback, a rally, a decline, a rally, a decline, right? That's what you would be looking there. And if this is it, instead, what you're going to get is 5 waves here, 3 waves up, 5 waves here, 3 waves up. So just because it looks like a triangle doesn't mean it's a triangle. If it is truly a triangle, it is a continuation pattern, guys. Okay? And even if you don't want to learn Elliott wave, just learn that. And that'll help you out with what everybody calls triangles, which often are not, right? They're just consolidations. They'd end up being, again, 1, 2, 1, 2. We're moving. Okay. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Still looking for that higher, right? Fiboswani's got those low 40s target by June. I'm going to hold him to it. By the way, guys, on tomorrow's show with me, with myself and Scott Melker, we're going to be co-hosting his show, and Fiboswani is actually going to be our first guest tomorrow. So if you can't get enough Fibo, there you go. Make sure you jump in. I'll put a link on there when we've got one on my socials, and Scott Melker will as well. And we'll see how you guys like this trading weekly trading show. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so DXY. What's going on with DXY? So right now, potentially, I've got a 1 at the finish here, and then a 2 on the rally up. It's really a short 2, though. But we may have a 1 and then ABC up, ABC down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a flat, or 1, 2 here, right there at the daily pivot. So, if we keep rallying, we'll look here at the R1 pivot on the hourly, which is right around 102.115 or so. But if we break down below this wave B here, which is 101.041, that'll say, okay, wave parentheses 3 is in progress. And right below that is this larger degree wave B at 101.013. And so if we're breaking down through that, that'll suggest that the larger parentheses, Roman numeral 1, 2, and now 3 would be in progress. You can see that here on the hourly, on the 4-hour, Stochk RSI is topped out and overbought. RSI is nearing overbought. We can jump to the daily. The daily just crossed bullishly, but it's just been going sideways here. And, a lot of times when it does that, it's just like a holding pattern before it breaks down further. Again, we didn't reset into oversold here. So if I'm thinking of the idea, well, do we have some wave 1 complete? Usually I'm looking for a breakdown into oversold on the daily. So we'll see how it gets there. But, we could end up breaking down there below 100 if we can get that drop down below that swing low there. Daily looks like a triangle, but to the downside, yeah, if this is a triangle, it'd be 4. But, again, where would it be? Is this A, B, and then this is C? Or are you talking about from here? We go A, B, C, D, E, get down, right? If it's this, but again, it comes in with how is the count here, right? I've got kind of this, let me zoom in a bit. This is kind of what I'm looking at as far as a count, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then ending diagonal for 5 of 1. And then, like I said, it's got a very short rally up, so I'm not even sure if that's going to work there. Maybe it's possible within here. This looks like 1, 2 here, though. See this? You got this big pullback. Looks like a flat for wave 2. And so in that case, it could be, right? So maybe this is like a 1, 2 in here, and this is a 3, 4. And then I guess this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe for wave 3. And then like you're talking about triangle, right? So it'd be A, B, this would have to be C, and then you get D and an E, so more sideways before it breaks down. So yeah, that's possible. And in that case, Your target would be, I mean, all it has to be is 5 waves down below wave 3, but based on the height of the triangle, 99.789. If Fibbo's still here, I think he's got a target of around 99.8. So yeah, it could definitely be a triangle there. It's just a really cruddy count going on through here. You know, we had this, but then we have this very short 2. I'm like, but I could definitely see that popping down lower there to do that if it's going to. Okay. So again, regardless of the count, what I'm looking for is a breakdown toward 100 and then a bounce off 100 to rally up, and then a breakdown below 100. And that would be your wave 3 of 3, right? I mean, that would give you 1, 2, 1, maybe over here, 1, 2, and then 3 of 3 on that breakdown. And usually it's your third of your third that's breaking through the major resistance. 100 is a major resistance, that 100 area. So yeah, if that happened, we'd be looking for just a rally back up kind of toward this 102 area. Where did I say it would be? Yeah, right there. Because usually wave 2 targets wave 4 the lesser degree. So wave 4 of 1, which would be in this area, which would be almost a 50%. I could see that, 102.8. And then get that rejection and head on lower. I could even see it rally up here into the weekly pivot at around 70.5 at 104. And just get rejected at weekly pivot and head down lower. But yeah, I think we're probably closer than not to a kind of a bounce for the dollar, which, maybe that sees Bitcoin just doing 33 and then pull back, right? It's possible. It's possible. Could I say this is potentially this is Adam and Eve here, but if you're breaking down, then that kind of removes that, right? And in order for this to confirm as a double bottom, it would have to actually break out above the swing high here. Until it does that, it's a possible double bottom. Everybody likes to call these patterns before they complete. This is a possible double bottom here, maybe Adam and Eve, but it doesn't get confirmed until it breaks out above that swing high in the middle there, up there at that 105.68 level. So yeah, definitely possible, right? If you're looking on that weekly, there it is. Maybe. Potentially a double bottom right here. See this right here? And Adam and Eve right here. Instead of looking at this one right here. And then that would probably get your rally up here toward that pivot height-wise, right? You'd have to, but again, you'd have to break out above that 102.404 area to see that happen. See, is that it? Yeah. And I don't like this really as a double bottom, because when you get here to the daily, you got to rally up, a pull back near the lows, followed by a rally up just above the highs, followed by a breakdown back to the low. And so yeah, I want a clearer 1, 2, 3, rally, pull back, rally, not rally, pull back to do that. So when we jump down to the daily, I probably wouldn't even look at that as a double bottom there, but potentially in the bigger one. Let me see here. What else we got here? Lots of charts here. Let's see. We got. We had a good day yesterday for the E-minis, for the S&P E-minis here. We had a nice rally there right into the daily pivot. Again, guys, mid-August swing high is still the point we want to get out above. Remember, the Dow is already broken out a months back, right? But the S&P and the Nasdaq are making their way up toward it. If we get a break out of there, it looks like 5 down, 3 up, 5 down. So it looks like an ABC. Locally here, it looks like we may be having a barrier triangle. Again, you're getting highs right around the same resistance here, and you're getting higher lows up toward that. So you're getting this consolidation up toward it. You can notice in this area, look at all the volume that you got on this pullback here on March 13th. Look at all that volume. And then a few days after that, kind of went sideways, and then it took off again toward the top up there again. You're getting up the top. The volume at the top is nowhere near as significant as that volume at the bottom. And it's kind of dropping off, right? So at this previous top over here around February 2nd, you had your volume where you have it here. And then you can see that at your next top over there on May 1st, look at how your volume's dropped off between those tops. So less volume coming in at those tops, but a ton of volume coming in here at that swing low back there on March, right? Christopher H., what's up? You YOLO'd into the SpongeBob meme coin. I don't even know what that means. Is there really a SpongeBob meme coin? I don't know why I should act surprised. It's crazy. But yeah, so again, looking for this breakout here, right? So look for the breakout above this potential ascending triangle. And if we can do that, then above the mid-August swing high here at 43.27.5. And if we can do that, I think that basically marks what's likely the bottom here. The question is, do we just, is that the bottom and then we break out to a new all-time high? Do we just do a flat where we rally up toward the all-time high and then back down toward the low and then break out? Do we do a triangle, sideways and drag this out for months and months and months more? We'll wait and see. But, again, those are the two levels I'm watching right now to increase confidence that the bottom is likely in, that the pullback is likely complete. You can notice that we did have this breakout of this big, of this resistance here, which wicked up, and then we had the bigger one where we came back and retested support and rallied up. So definitely something worth watching on that. Biddy popped up today. Let's see here. Again, not really a clean 5 up. Not really a clean down either. I mean, you could maybe make the argument this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it's 1, 2, 3. But again, with that gap there and everything, not overly clear. Oh, 12-hour looks even more interesting. What are these swing lows here? 1941. I mean, even if we look at the first rally here, it just looks like 3 waves, right? See, this could be right here coming out. Could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C as a flat. You can look here on the 12-hour. Stoke RSI is almost, is overbought, nearing, topping out and overbought. We're just kind of doing sideways here. We got a lot of volume coming on that swing low with that large wick, which was great. But we've returned to that same near area twice now. I think if we return again, we'll probably break down because of how close they are to this swing low. What you generally look for when you see this pullback coming and you leave this large lower wick on large, exceptionally large volume, you're not looking for price to almost hit that same low again. You're looking for aggressiveness. Price may pull back a little bit and then continue higher. Instead, we got to pull back almost to that low, rallied up, got rejected again, came back almost to that same low again, rallied up to the same resistance now. I think if it comes back down toward this 1980 area, I think we lose it and continues lower on that. But yeah, so, that's my big takeaway from this range right here is just this. The reaction was good, but after that reaction, it didn't break down further yet, which is, still potentially could lead it higher. But the fact that we returned almost to that same low twice now, and we haven't broken out any higher either time, makes me cautious. If this was really good demand coming in and lack of supply, like I said, we should have just pulled back locally and then continued up higher, but we didn't. We got smacked back down. We can't get above. And again, notice we can't get above the same area, right? It's just the same stinking area, right? From all the way back here on March 20th, it's that same area that's holding resistance. So again, if we lose that and head down toward these lows again, kind of this area right here, right? From back over here, starting here in April 11th. You know, if we get rejected here and come on back down here again, I think we go. I think we go lower. So yeah. So that's what I would be looking at there. But if we can break out, then you know, maybe gap fill here at least 24. After that, we'd have to see, but we could, you know, I mean, it could just be like a pullback here before heading down lower. Again, that 12 hours almost topped out and overbought. The daily is almost overbought. It's been hanging around near the top overbought there. We are, you know, we gapped up above, but, you know, we're just playing around the daily pivot right now. We gapped up above it, gapped down below it, gapped up above it. You know, are we going to get down below it again? We're just range bound right here, right now. Still having trouble at that high volume node area. What do we got here? Actually, where's my other chart? Let me see. Oil looks interesting. This is the big weekly picture. If we can get a breakout above this swing high at 83.53, there's a pattern target based on this possible double bottom here that'll get you up there to 109. And importantly, that'll carry you above the weekly pivot. We do have a bullish SFP that formed here on the weekly at the lows. I think on the daily as well, yeah. But we have to get and break out above there, guys. Until then, we have to get above the daily pivot at around $78.15. And then the descending channel resistance just a bit higher at around $80. And we have to break out impulsively above this area. Again, large candle spread, large spike of volume through that to have a chance at breaking out above here and maybe heading up higher. In all likelihood, you know, again, we could we could just get rejected in that area and head down lower. And then we'd at least be looking at a target at least right here around 51.40 or so. That would be assuming that this is a wave 4 here. If it's anything else, we could end up even going even lower than that. Whoops. But yeah, the possibility is there to rally up. It's just got to do it. I don't know. You know, it's got 15.5% up off that low on last Thursday. But, you know, we're kind of goofing off around the S1 pivot on the daily. We still got to get through that pivot and head up higher, right? So, let me see here. So yeah, I'm kind of iffy on oil at the minute. I mean, I have no problem playing this rally up at least to the pivot and this descending resistance. If we get a breakout there, you know, and we break out cleanly above the swing high here to get the double bottom, I'm still going to watch that weekly pivot as my next target area right around 93.5. And then, you know, next target after that is that double bottom pattern target up there around 109. But that's how I'd play it, right? So until then, I mean, I'm not saying right here it has to go up to new all-time high or that it has to break down lower. I'm just interested in what we've got going on here with these targets. And then as it does that, we'll see how price action looks. We'll see what the charts are telling us, and then we'll make a better decision as to whether we're going to potentially see a new all-time high or not. Copper looks interesting. Copper futures here, guys. I think we've still got wave 5 to go here. I think locally we've got wave 4 of 1 of 5. It pulled back here again. Remember what I told you on the Bitcoin chart about the weekly pivot, right? Well, about the pivots in general. You break out above them, large candle spread, large volume, pull back, retest. Usually it continues up higher. I think we're seeing that same thing here. We're seeing a flat maybe printing. And so we're looking for that. If so, we've got a target of around $827.20. Well, yeah, 827.20. These are copper futures again, guys. And then ultimately, we would have a minimum expected wave parentheses 5 target up there at 1,061. But if we do kind of get this move up, as we got here, this wave 1, again, at least that 827 area, potentially as high as the R1 pivot, which is 869. And as you can see, especially if we get up toward that, the 50% pullback area is the pivot, which is also wave 4 of the lesser degree. And wave 2 initially targets wave 4 of the lesser degree and or 50% pullback, which is the Dow level, not a fib level. So yeah, but you can see right here on the weekly Stochh RSI, we're almost bottomed out and rallying back up, trying to cross bullishly. Nothing really going on. We're about neutral on RSI here. But yeah, it looks like some possibility in that. So again, ultimately looking at least up here 1,061, maybe even up here around 1,264 on that. Let me see here. Fibbo, take it easy, man. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Make sure you cleared your schedule. Let me see here. Gold, guys. Gold still looking. Man, we are here trying to continue to rally up. Ultimately, if this count is correct, we have a minimum expected target at 2380. We could see it rallying 2780. And, maybe even potentially higher. But right now, those are my two wave 5 targets. If we get rejected around this R1 pivot, the expectation would be to pull back to the pivot. This is the weekly pivot right around 1840, 1841. And then I would look for a reason to long there. Okay. Let me see here. Silver. Again, silver doing its thing. Potentially a wave 5 of 1 target up here at the R1 pivot. On the weekly, it's right around 28.58, 28.65. Right around that area. That would get us a first subwave up near the previous swing high, which is usually what we look for. Again, the idea would be a rally up to there and then a pullback down toward the pivot area around 23.15. And then we'd get a wave 3 up off that. Oops, hit the wrong button there. Let's see here. Coin. Let's see. Again, if I'm counting here, my first thought is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's my first thought. Seeing this here, immediately I would think A, B, and then working on a C here. So I would think a flat. You can see that the weekly Stochh RSI dipped into oversold, so reset down to oversold. It's curled back up like it wants to cross. We're running right up into the pivot there. On the daily, oh, this looks like 5 up, but nope. That's probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the gap there being a 3, 4 area. Yeah, so I mean, to me, it looks like maybe it'd be a 1, A, B, 1, 2. Might be a 3, 4, and a 5 lower, or it could be 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Potentially. Got some good candles here. We're rallying up into the pivot, though, the daily pivot. We definitely want to see some breakout there. Stochh RSI is almost topped out and overbought. RSI's got some good, room left on it there. Earnings just released on May 4th, so last week. surprise to the upside. So they were estimating a loss of 1.449. They actually made 1.109 per share. Revenue, or I'm sorry, they only lost 34 cents rather than $1.45 almost. So it was a surprise plus of 1.109. God, I can't even say it. Revenue surprised. They were expecting 655.3 million. Instead they came with 772.53 million. So I mean, Coinbase didn't look as bad as what it's been looking. But again, for me, I mean, again, I think it might be a 1-2 here. So you'd have to get a breakout above wave B. So I'd be looking at potentially something like this. Actually, I may change that wave B here in a minute. Also, you can see that we, come on, stupid thing. That we bounced right above the S1 pivot, which is what you want to see. We kind of came in sideways between the pivot and the S1, hit the S1 area, rallied back up. We want to see an impulsive breakout above that daily right now. All right. So this is A, B, C down for A, and then we've got a flat for B. A, B, and that gives you the 5 up for C, for B. Doesn't even have to be a flat. I could see this potentially being a W, X, Y as well. Probably even better. Because this just looks like 3 down, but it looks, from the breakout, from the rally, it's a strong rally off that S1. If we can get impulsive breakout by the pivot, I think we're good to go. And so then we'd want to see, again, this breakout above the swing high here at around 72.61 to really kind of suggest we're going to break out above X and head up. If the count's correct there, then, by the way, if this count is correct, Bitcoin should not be breaking down. Most likely. It should follow in the same kind of footsteps here with coin. Because that's coin's business, right? It's Bitcoin. 3 is around 138.66. 4 pulls back 103.90. 5 gets you 160.14 potentially here. And look where 5 takes you. Right to the area of support right there. So yeah, that would be, this without any overextensions or whatever along the way. I mean, that'd be a good rally coming up there. Check this out to the weekly here again. We had this volume right here, which was on a send down the pickup, but then it followed through down lower. But there really was nothing left. After you had this big spike of volume coming in, the volume drops off markedly down here into the bottom. And then it picks up on the rally where we got the larger candle spreads, and it stays elevated as we're kind of going sideways. We dip down. We swing just below the swing lows over here. And then, right at this kind of support area. Right? And we got this nice demand candle here, almost bullish engulfing, large lower demand wick, volume picking up. Again, we're threatening to cross bullishly on the weekly here. We're getting moved up. So we want to see a break. We want to see a nice impulsive breakout above that daily pivot. And I think it kind of sends us up. By the way, if we're looking at this, you can see 5 waves gets us up there almost to the R1 pivot. Again, that's without overextending anywhere, like a wave 3. And 50% is just below, so you could wick down below potentially, or we could overextend on wave 3 and potentially reach that R1 pivot, which gets us the 50% pullback to the pivot there. So, I mean, I don't think it looks bad at all. I think it looks compelling. If you're interested in, in resistances and whatnot, you can probably draw this one right here. And then maybe this one right here at support. Kind of gives you this descending wedge looking thing. So if you're breaking out above this 77.70 area impulsively, I mean, I could see it hitting the pivot and pulling back and then breaking out, but ultimately I think you break out above the pivot and head up toward that R1 pivot area on the weekly. So a lot of room to run on that. That would be a good rally up. What's that? Almost 200% from where we are right now. Yeah, that'd be around 200%, 175 to 215% or so, those target areas. Did I have anything else here? Copper coin. Oh, somebody was asking about DGHI, Aerocoin. Yeah. Let me check here, man. Oh, man, look at that. Y'all always asking after the big rallies. You need to be asking before the big rally so you can be in on them. I mean, if we look here on the weekly here, guys, look. I mean, just look left. Look where we hit. Boom, right? And if you're watching this, coming in, no volume really down here, right? And then moves that breakout. You could have thrown you've got this entire like resistance here. I'd probably pull it from right there. But you have all these hits right around the same area. I would have been looking for a breakout if I'd been paying attention to this. The way I would have traded this is when you have this long decline and it's against this same bit of resistance all the way down, man, I'm looking for a break. I'm willing to buy the breakout here, not even wait for the retest. I'm willing to buy the breakout because you've got you've got this nice orderly move down in this same kind of area. And that usually suggests that you're going to be looking for, again, you're going to need an impulsive breakout and, and pop out. So yeah, I might have been willing to do that. And, in doing that, initially the weekly pivot makes a great target. So on that, you could have potentially seen about 225% or so. Right here, you can notice on the pullback that we've got 3 back. And then maybe looks like 3 up. So I could see a flat here. I could see this potentially pulling back. But it's just this leg here is not very defined. It's not very, as far as what we may be seeing there. So, yeah, so there's 3. And then there's 3 here, and it looks like we want to break out. This could be 1, 2, 1, 2 here, getting ready up. This is where I talked about sometimes it can look like a triangle, right? You get A, B, C, D, E kind of thing, but it just becomes a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So you get like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Could be a 4. The way I would look at this initial target, if this is a triangle, like maybe it's like a 1, 2, and it's a really big 3 and 4 here. I'm sorry, really big 4. As a triangle, well, then you're looking for at least a target of 297. So basically $3 almost. If you can continue up through there, it would increase the odds that that's just a 1, 2, 1, 2 right there. And if that is, if that's a 1, 2 right there, you'd be looking just big higher there for 3 at 321, 5 at 362. I like that 362 area. It's just prior to that high volume ledge there, high volume node. But over here, it kind of hits these the supports and these gaps right here. So yeah, potentially. But we need that breakout higher. It's not like you go, oh, look, it says that, so we need to go ahead and go long right now. No, you need to find your entries, guys. Okay? Let's see here. Huge bull div on the weekly. On which one, Hank? Let's see. We just looked at coin. Are you talking about coin? Huge bull div on the wheat. Oh, this one back here, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, you did have this, but I think we talked about that before now that you're mentioning it. I think we talked about that back there in January, February. Yeah. But you do have that going to be a bullish divergence there. Lower lows in price, higher lows in your oscillator, which is RSI here. Rally up. Consolidation at the consolidation. Look for a breakout above it. Potentially just hanging out higher there. By the way, you can also look at it this way. You had this, look at this. Resistance, 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 and then the breakout and the retest of that resistance as support as we're doing this sideways, building this range here, take us higher there. So yeah. All right, you guys that are leaving, we'll see y'all later. I got to get out of here too. It is 12:30. As always, remember the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. So please keep working on risk management, guys. Like I said, TexasWest.capital. Be there or be square. If you laugh at that because it brings back great memories, then you're cool. If you laugh at it because you think it's funny that I say that, then no special for you. No. Anyway, yeah. So when we launch, I'm going to have you guys are going to help me test out the new platform. So I'm going to have some great, ridiculous tier 3 deals. And just understand there may be an issue with the platform. But that's why you're getting the deal. So you can help me test that out. And we will get you fixed up no matter what, guys. We'll get you taken care of. Always do. But I don't think I don't foresee any issues that we'll have with it. But really excited to check it out because it will once again allow us to have that automated gatekeeping with Discord, which means it frees up hours of my day to be able to do more content for you guys. So yeah, we're really kind of getting TWC and this more structured content related educational space that we started out as and really want to remain. So there it is. Okay, guys. I think that'll do it. Let me see here. I talked about risk management. Oh, the other thing, if you don't know yet, stop entering trades just because there's a chance, guys. Okay? Look for the higher confidence entries. Look for reasons why you want to enter, not just because, one thing happened. By the way, guys, don't ever just trade one indicator, okay? You don't ever just trade like RSI or stochastic even or anything like that. You want to make sure you're learning as much as you can every day about price action, the way that markets move, stuff like that. I promise you, there's very few out there that are as well versed in why and how the market moves the way it does as I am. And so I try to share that with you guys day in and day out. A lot of it goes against your conventional thinking. But again, that conventional thinking is what's kept you from being as successful as you could be. I came across it myself after 20 years of trading and then found out, there's this book on it. Somebody else came up with the same idea as well. And so again, it's socioeconomic theory, guys. You can look that up. It's fantastic stuff. But it'll help you understand a lot more about your emotions and the way that you view the charts based on your emotions and stuff like that, rather than what you think you're actually doing. So, hey, Michael Johnson, it'll be there for you to watch, man, just a bit. So y'all have a great day. Trade safe. Join us over in Discord later today. Again, even if you're a member, you guys can jump on that deal as well. And I will just tack that on to whatever time you currently have. So if you are a member, you can still get access to that as well. Or if you're new, definitely take advantage of it. Even if all you stay, is a few months at the ridiculously low price, and then you move on, you're still going to have access forever to those courses and any updates that I do to them. So I've done updates throughout the years to them, and I sold them originally. And people that bought them back in the first, 5 years ago still get access to the updates that I do with them. So, again, that's the way it's going to be, okay? All right, guys. I hope y'all are staying safe out there. You're all trading safe. And, man, I'd love to see you guys with us. If not, follow me. TX West Capital on Twitter. Texas West Capital on just about everything else. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. And by the way, make sure you subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like. Leave a comment. All that great stuff, all right? Was that Soren? Good to see you. You have a great day. Michael Johnson as well. Hank, Errol Quinn, everybody else. I appreciate you guys. And we will see you there on, well, I guess if you're in Discord, we'll see you there in a bit. Otherwise, we'll see you guys online and or Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, or tomorrow, again, tomorrow morning, new show with Scott Melker. Fibaswani will be our guest, so make sure you guys are showing up, okay? Take care.